All right, we're gonna hop into phase 3. Let's get this going. All right. Now, phase 3 is the best phase. If anybody didn't know that, if you had no idea, phase 3 is the best phase. It's the only phase. Oh man. All right. So, and this is not in the order is completely like you're gonna be like, yeah, you really did your homework on these. There are 11 movies. 11 movies in phase 3. And obviously, at number 11, they did a shitty job on Captain Marvel. And I don't think actually no. Brie Larson was the wrong choice. She was the wrong choice for Captain Marvel. And I know she was like you could have got somebody else, honestly. And I know you probably wanted like Jennifer Lawrence or somebody to play that. And you couldn't get her, so you just went and were like, we'll take Brie Larson. Like, nah, bro. Nah. Should have just waited. But yeah, I guess yeah. I'm not even gonna get all into it. Budget between 150 and 175. Box office, it took in 1.1 billion. Like I said, you might disagree with it, but yeah, no. This was it was shittily done. Very shittily done. And it even had Jude Law in it, which is like, oh man. Annette Bening. Yeah, it should have been better. Definitely should have been better. But you got Brie Larson. Like, when you start off with Brie Larson. Anyway, not even going to spend a lot of time on Captain Marvel. All right, number 10 is Spider-Man Homecoming, which is Spider-Man 1. And let me see. Yep, budget 175, box office 880 mil. So I mean, you can't argue with the box office, but as far as MCU movies and even phase 3 movies, it's like, nah, I'm good. I'm good at having that at 10. Number 9, the other Spider-Man movie in phase 3, which is Spider-Man Far From Home. They made strides with Tom Holland and Spider-Man, and they added Jake Gyllenhaal, which, because the first Spider-Man, it was my boy Michael Keaton. Yeah, Michael Keaton in the bird suit, which is, he's decent, but not yeah, just not for this villain. Might be able to play a villain at some point, but no. And this is the one that Donald Glover was in, which is my guy. Another one of my guys. I got a lot of homies. But yeah, you get the RDJ cameo, you get the Jon Favreau cameo, you get, the Gwyneth Paltrow cameo. Like, it was just they were trying too hard with one. But 2, they settled down, and they I feel like they got a groove. And then you had Jake Gyllenhaal playing both a hero and a villain, which was pretty goddamn cool. But yeah, I mean, JB Smoove, Zendaya. Yeah, like I said, it was decent. All right, at number 8, and I hate to keep doing this to my man Paul Rudd, but Ant-Man and the Wasp. And it's only because there are so many other great movies, well, pretty great movies, that I have to put ahead of this because I feel like from here on, they are all, I would classify all of these as great movies. Like I genuinely enjoy watching the next ones. But Ant-Man 2, just like Spider-Man, like they made strides. They're getting closer to the mark, and this is what Marvel does. They test. They poke and prod. They test. So with the first one, you do a little bit, but with this one, when you have you know um, the difference of villains, when you have uh, what's her name, the ghost girl that moved through shit. You have Michelle Pfeiffer, and you have Michael Douglas get his wife back, and stuff like that. I mean, it was pretty good. It was a pretty good script, and it was pretty well executed. Um, Box office budget 130, between 130 and 195. That's a big gap. Whoever's reporting these, they need to get these real like closer, at least within like 10-20 mil. Like this is a 60 million gap. But anyway, between 130 and 195, box office 622 mil. So, pretty good. All right. So, we go number 7. Number 7 is Doctor Strange. Mostly for the visual effects. And the fact that they had, Chiwetel Ejiofor, Tilda Swinton, Rachel McAdams. And you see they gave him Rachel McAdams. Like, what do y'all not like Paul Rudd? You gave him Evangeline Lilly. You gave Tom Holland fucking Zendaya. You couldn't, no? Anyway. Rachel McAdams, Chiwetel Ejiofor, Benedict Cumberbatch. That's when they introduce him. But the villain wasn't that strong in this one. This is really like, you really had to like the visual effects. And I feel like if I would have watched this on acid, I would have had, or shrooms or something, I would have had a great time. So any of you who did see it, on psychedelics, psychotropics, you did well. I know you did well. Yeah, like what is good with the budgets? Budget reported on this between 165 and 236 mil. Box office, they brought in 677 mil. First movie in the series for Doctor Strange. And that's usually what they do around, half a bill or more. But yeah, I mean, story, like I said, wasn't that strong, but it did decent. Now, my number 6 is Civil War, which is technically the third Captain America movie, but I feel like you guys would agree with me when I say it's really the third Avengers movie. It's just the third Avengers movie. You had literally everybody except for Thor and Hulk, which I don't think anybody really missed, if you want to be honest. I think for what they were trying to do, which is, introduce people to the ancillaries and the people who are going to be getting movies later, I think they did their job. But yeah, they threw a lot of people with this one. I mean, you had Evans and RDJ headline. Um, but then you get Skojo, Sebastian Stan, Anthony Mackie. You got Don Cheadle. You get Renner later. Um, Chadwick. Chadwick played a big RP Chadwick. He played a big role in that movie. His dad was the one that died. T'Chaka. So, and that kind of set everything off. So, and Sebastian Stan played a bigger. Paul Bettany and Elizabeth Olsen, WandaVision and whatever. And I think this is where we got introduced to Tom Holland. Budget for this one was $250 million, firm, apparently, with the resources. Box office, 1.1 bill. So that's like their sweet spot, 1.1 bill. Like I said, nothing to scoff at. Definitely nothing to scoff at. But yeah, I mean the story. You also had where's my guy? Daniel Bruhl. Is that him? Yep. Daniel Bruhl. Who, as the Baron, not fantastic, but did his job. He did his job when he was when he drowned dude upside down. I thought that was pretty gangster. Yeah. Left dude in the and that's he killed people. Like he was savage, man. Like he killed, like you saw him kill people. And you don't really see MCU villains kill people. Like you'll see them like blow up some shit and they'd be like, "Oh, well, people died." But now you saw him like you saw the dude drown. You saw the guy with blood in the bathtub. It was just, he was kind of gangster. And I would be too if y'all just ran through and killed my family, but he was gangster. That guy was gangster. And then you had the ending when Captain America was fucking demolishing Iron Man, just straight shield work. About to end that nigga life. But yeah. But that's number 6. Number 5. Endgame. Yes, straight face. Number 5 in Phase 3. The 5th best movie is Avengers Endgame. Because I feel like it was super unnecessary. I feel like you could have made a long ass Infinity War and just had that in there. Like, it just didn't feel like what it was supposed to be. For some reason, like it was a lot of hype for not a lot of reward. Russo brothers, and you threw literally everything and everybody at this thing. So I mean, it's understandable why it did what it did. Budget between 356 and 400 mil, which apparently only, what was it, one other movie, which I think was Age of Ultron, they've spent more so far that I've seen. But box office, it brought in 2.8 bill. I mean, obviously it's going to bring in that. It's the last movie. When I say they threw everything, I saw the kitchen sink in the last battle scene. I saw the kitchen sink. If you didn't see the kitchen sink, you need to go back and look, because they threw everything. I'm telling you, they threw everything at this movie for it to not be that great. Like, Thanos came back. Like, you cut his head off already. I don't want to see this guy again. But yeah, That's what they do. That's what they did. They started the whole time travel thing and the multiverse thing, and yeah, it was just, I, that's what it was. They were setting up for other shit. They were setting up for Phase 4 when they should have been ending Phase 3. They were setting up for Phase 4, and I was like, you're setting up for shit that's just worse than, Phase 3. They were setting up for like Captain Marvel and Ant-Man and Spider-Man, and you know what I mean? They're setting up for that stuff. So it's like, no, they were even setting up for Loki and WandaVision and shit like that. So it's like, no, you were just setting up too much shit for me to take that seriously. And you basically recycled a villain, which is like a no-no, bro. You don't recycle a villain. I guess you thought you could do it because you did it with Hiddleston, and if Hiddleston could pull it off, then Brolin and purple paint, he could definitely pull it off because of the chin. But don't do that. Don't do that no more. So yeah, that's number. What did I say? Number 5, right? Yeah. All right, top 4. Number 4. I'm sorry, black people, but it's Black Panther. And believe me, I wanted to put it 1, but objectively, I cannot put it number 1, and I can't put it 2, and I can't put it 3. If I could, I would. But Black Panther, it introduced us to Wakanda, and Wakanda is like the most magical place I've ever seen. Like more magical than Lord of the Rings. Just more visually exciting than Hogwarts and anything they brought to the table. Magical. Wakanda is magical. Wakanda is like I don't know. I feel like that's where Tupac went. Tupac faked his death and went to Wakanda because it was just no. All right, budget, they spent 200 mil, which understandable. You had Chadwick, you had Michael B. Jordan, you had Lupita, who was coming off of an Oscar, so you had to pay bread for her, which is why she didn't get an MCU contract. Martin Freeman, you introduce him, and he's an English actor who plays an American agent for some reason. But yeah, then you had Daniel Kaluuya, Letitia Wright, Winston Duke, introduce him. But God, to have Angela Bassett and Forrest Whitaker in a movie with Chadwick Boseman and Lupita Nyong'o and Daniel Kaluuya, you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, that one's different. And if Andy Serkis would have played the villain in this one, I'd have been seriously disappointed. Because Andy Serkis, he did a alright job as Claw, but that's part of the reason Ultron didn't get a high thing from me, because it also had Andy Serkis. Like, I don't know, but yeah, if he would have been doing sole villain duties, this movie would have been lower on my list. But because Michael B. Jordan just came through and demolished Killmonger, yeah, it's number 4. Anyway, they spent 200 mil, and they brought in 1.3 billion. So, yeah, definitely the biggest thing any of them were involved in, but 1.3 billion isn't, and that's number 4, which is crazy. Number 3, and this is mostly because it's one of my favorites too, but Thor Ragnarok was just the most hilarious fucking and good movie. Like it was funny and good. It wasn't just like, oh, this is like really really funny. It was like Taika Waititi. He did work on this. Like he did work on this joint. And the fact that he voiced Korg was like phenomenal. But yeah, you got Hemsworth and Hiddleston back. Kate Blanchett comes in as, Hella. Tessa Thompson, this is where we get introduced to her. Jeff Goldblum is in this one. With the gravitas, Carl Urban, who, not great, but Mark Ruffalo. Yeah, they did have Hulk in this one too. Yeah, Hulk. So yeah, this one was pretty much Thor, Hulk, and let me see, Thor, Hulk, and I'm pretty sure Idris Elba. Yeah, and Tessa Thompson. They held down this movie. Budget 180 mil. Box office 854 mil. It's not all about the box office, guys. It's not. That's a big part of it. It's not all about it. All right, so number 2. We're only down. We got 2 movies left. Number 2, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Phenomenal movie. I love this fucking movie. It's my shit. Kurt Russell as Ego, like, come on, guys. Baby Groot was introduced in this one. I don't even gotta say nothing else. Nothing else needs to be said. Baby Groot. But yeah, then you get introduced to Mantis and, people like that. So it's like, yeah, you did work, okay? You did work. They spent 200 mil on this one, which I think is less than Guardians 1. Box office, they got in 865 mil, just about 865. And this is the one with Sylvester Stallone in it and shit. And this is the one where Yondu dies. Yeah. And they had the end part where, they had the Ravagers give Yondu his jaw. So yeah, this one was just, it was great. This I can honestly say Guardians Volume 2 is a great Marvel movie. A great one. Like, story, everything. And number 1, which I'm guessing you already figured out. Number 1 is Avengers Infinity War. Also directed by the Russo brothers. And they also threw everything at this one. But the difference is this one actually felt like the one that was supposed to, be. Which it should have been. The hero's not always supposed to win, guys. If Phase 3 would have ended with Infinity War, I think I would have been a little bit more intrigued to go and, watch Phase 4. But because Phase 3, I think Phase 3 officially ended with like a Spider-Man. But because the Infinity Saga ended with Endgame, it just didn't feel right. Like, and everybody was doing it. It's like Harry Potter did it, Hunger Games did it, where they take the last movie and they split it. And Hunger Games did it successfully. But Harry Potter didn't, and Avengers didn't. It was like, it's disappointing. Budget between 325 and 400. So yeah, once again, threw everything. They threw literally everything. And box office, it brought in $2 billion. $2 billion. So if you want to get bogged down in numbers, then I guess, yeah, you get bogged down in numbers. But I'm pretty sure, Infinity War is the best one. It's just, it felt like if it would have just ended right there with like half the population just gone, right? Half the population just gone. It would have been like, think about that. Think about going into phase 4, like, God damn, what we gonna do now? Like, what the fuck we gonna do? Like, you could have brought somebody, you could have brought people back. You could have found a way to multiverse it. You could have found a way to multiverse it and bring some people back. Yeah, but anyway, that is my list of by phase. In a later episode, I will probably just do my top 10 overall with Marvel movies, but for the time being, this is how we're gonna do it. Phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. And we'll, recap later. But Infinity War ends off, that's number 1 for my phase 3. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. I am Solo Star, and these are just my opinions. This is my standpoint.